Awesome, the show where we explore tips, tricks, and strategies to help you and me to live a more awesome life. Today on the show, I'm continuing the theme of meditation. This will be the last show on meditation for this series. As you, if you've listened to the other ones, you know that we're running a challenge in my group, Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/healthy living mental game, the mental game. We're doing a meditation challenge this month. Every month we do a new challenge. Next month, it'll be something new and exciting. Right now I'm talking about meditation, and today's guest, I'm really excited to be talking to hypnotist, personal development coach, it's a really all-around swell fella, and another follically challenged guy. Everybody welcome Marc Marshall. Give it up for him, everyone. Yay, yay.
You know, Jim, thanks a lot. And I don't know if they can handle all this awesomeness all at the same time. So we'll give it to them in small doses. And thanks for the introduction. Wow. You're on a subject that I absolutely love, and it's something I work with every one of my clients about. You know, I'm a professional hypnotist. I'm in the office today. It's been a crazy time. And with COVID, I'm finding so many of my clients are really stressed. And the thing that every client that comes to me that we talk about and we work with as part of my hypnotherapy with them is using mindfulness or using meditation. I prefer mindfulness for my clients because it's simple and it's easy, and that's what I'm going to want to talk about today. But I'm using it with my corporate clients, and my corporate clients have been really busy and really stressed, and they're reaching out to me to work with their team members. I've been doing a lot of work with teams of my major corporate clients, and you know, there's shows in here, but what I'm seeing is people in the middle of this pandemic right now are stressed, and they're missing connection. You know, I'm talking about interpersonal connection is absent, and that's adding to the stress level. And the simplest thing that we can do takes no, you don't require anything at all. Oh boy, we have a bit of an issue. My battery is running low, and I don't know why. Let's see what's going on here. It's plugged in. That's why I don't understand what's happening here. There we go. It's back.
Good.
So, but what I started to say is, and I'm not sweating that either. Meditation is something that every one of us can do in the moment. And the thing about mindfulness and why I use it's so important to me is because it works. And I discovered how powerful it was when I've been hypnotizing people since I'm 16. I was initially self-taught. And throughout my life, I've always dealt with hypnosis. I've always practiced hypnosis. And in 2008, at 16, I was self-taught, but in 2008, I decided to take my formal training which I had before, expanded even greater, retired from the corporate world, and became a full-time hypnotist. And as part of that process, I also became an educator in an alternative high school. And in that process, I was working with at-risk students. These are students who are thrown out of school, failed school, had issues with the police, issues with drugs. They were basically in the last place that they could get an education. And they come in with a lot of baggage. And in that baggage, it's, I'm not good enough because everybody tells me I'm not good enough. They have low self-esteem. They have low self-control. There's a lot of issues that are going on. One of the things that as a teacher, that's very traditional, is when students come in the classroom in the first 5 or 6 minutes, teachers getting themselves set up for that class, they give what's called a do now. A do now is a small assignment that takes 5 minutes. I introduced something completely different. I knew the power of meditation and mindfulness. And I taught every one of my classrooms, every one of my classes, how to do mindfulness. And for the first 7 or 8 minutes of every class, my students practiced mindfulness. And I guided them through the practice. What we began to see in that process was better self-control, better performance on tests, better self-regulation. Just their mood shifted, their whole And I was hearing from other teachers, other professionals, that were saying to me, what's going on in your classroom? Because we noticed there's those students that you have that you're working with, there's a difference. And my principal was high on that. I subsequently said, you know what, this is something that every educator should be aware of. Every parent, every administrator should be aware of, because it works. Mindfulness meditation is simply focusing on the moment, being present. And that's where most of us get into trouble. We're thinking about what we could have done, should have done, would have done, going to do, want to do, need to do, but not what we're doing. So as we're thinking about what we did in the past, we understand we can't unring the bell, but we're wasting a lot of time, a lot of energy back there. And in the future, we don't have control over that, but we're most powerful to make change in ourselves right here in the present.
Great. Let me ask you a question, Marc. Well, I thought, it's interesting too that you say when that oftentimes we're doing something and we're not really in that moment. It may even be something that we were looking forward to, like a conversation, a dinner with somebody, and so we're not even able to enjoy those things that we looked forward to because all we can do is think about the past and think about the future. Isn't that a weird thing?
Yeah, I mean, just go into any restaurant and just look around and see how many people are sitting with a partner at dinner and they're both, one or both are on their cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not being present. I'm sorry. And I guarantee you, if you ask those people what you just ate, they may not be able to tell you. And that's in the moment. And mindfulness practice is so much more fun. I mean, it is focused at the simplest core. The exercises that I give my clients are focus on the breath. Just focus on the breathing in and breathing out. And that's all you need to do. And I ask them to do that 3 times a day. Once in the morning before their feet touch the floor. And by doing that, by focusing in that 6 or 7 minutes, what you wind up doing is you set your intention for the day. You've cleared your mind. You're working from a place of, this is what I want to get done. This is how I'm going to do it. This is the way to move forward. In the middle of the day, things get crazy, get stressful. Everybody can find 5 minutes. I don't care if you have to run to the bathroom and lock yourself in a stall.
Right.
For 5 minutes. You can find 5 minutes, or lock yourself in your car. Just 5 minutes. Focus on your breath, become recentered. And in the process of becoming recentered, you've now shifted the dynamic. When we're stressed out, we're in that fight-flight mode, and the cortisol kicks in. And so, the frontal lobe kicks out. We're not making rational decisions when we're in that kind of a situation. But when we're present and aware of our breathing, for example, we can be able to make changes in our life, because that in this moment I can change it. I don't have to worry about what the outcome is going to be, because I don't know what the outcome is going to be. But I know what I can do right now. I know that I can control myself right now. And as long as I'm breathing, I'm safe. Everything else is secondary. I'm safe as long as I'm breathing.
Yeah, great points. Marc, can you tell us now, see, I think meditation is kind of a scary word for a lot of people. They assume they can't do it. We have these stereotypes of who does meditation, what meditation looks like, that kind of a thing. Can you tell us, is there a difference between mindfulness and meditation?
Mindfulness is meditation. Mindfulness meditation is meditation. It's a form of meditation. And I practice many forms of meditation, and we can practice meditation in 1,000 different ways. Mm-hmm. Every major religion in the world has a meditative practice as part of the practice. If you want to take a few minutes, I'll just take you through a quick breathing exercise.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's do this. Let me just invite everybody. So first of all, I just want to let everybody know that I'm talking to Marc Marshall. He's a hypnotist, a personal development coach, and a mindfulness instructor. And I mean, he's a long list of credentials. Look him up. You'll see the notes down below. We're getting ready to go through a little demonstration here of what Marc's talking about. So if you're driving or something like that, you probably don't want to do it, or I guess maybe you can for this, right? You can.
My clients can drive and do that. You can be. I have people in some of the exercises I do, and I do this with my corporate clients. I'll go in and do a meditation sequence for them over a course of 6 or 7 or 8 weeks, and do different meditation exercises. You can eat mindfully. You can shower mindfully. You can drive mindfully. But the simplest of all practices, is mindful meditation through breathing. And I recommend it if you're operating machinery or driving a car. Listen to this when you have time to just focus and concentrate.
Okay, we're gonna go through it right now. And hey, if you have comments or something, just type them down in the chat or in the comments, and we'll would like to answer those for you. So please do that. And we're gonna go ahead and start now. Let's do it, Mark.
So all I'm going to ask you to do just now is just put your feet flat on the floor. And I want you to take a deep breath in and let it out slowly. And I want you to continue to focus on the breath, breathing in and breathing out. And as you focus on the breath, I'm wondering if you can become aware of how it enters your body. Does it enter your body through your nose or through your mouth? Breathing in and breathing out. Is your breath warm or is it cool? Breathing in and breathing out. Is it moist or is it dry? Breathing in and breathing out. And breathing is something that we do from the moment we're born until the moment we die, but very seldomly do most of us ever focus on the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. As you continue to focus on the breath, perhaps you become aware of the rhythm and the depth, not trying to change or alter it, just becoming aware of it. Breathing in and breathing out. And the in-breath we call by its name in, and the out-breath out. And notice on this next breath how it enters into your body and travels down into your lungs. Breathing in and breathing out. And the thing about the breath is, this breath is unique. It marks this specific moment in time. And it is in this moment that you're most capable of making positive change in your life. Breathing in and breathing out. And perhaps while you're focusing on your breath, you become aware of a sound or a sensation or a thought. And that's what our minds do. We don't have to follow them. They're just cues to focus us back on our breathing. We can say that's a thought. That's a feeling. That's a sensation. And just focus back on our breath. Breathing in and breathing out. And I wonder if you can become aware right now of the exact moment when this inhale changes to an exhale, marking the next moment in time. And when you're ready, just return yourself to full awareness. Typically, what I would ask someone to do is to continue to do that, just focusing without my voice on the breath. And it only takes 10 minutes. And in that 10 minutes, you've now just reset your state. You've lowered your blood pressure. You've lowered the pulse rate. The those deep breaths just help to center us. And when we're centered, we have the ability to make great decisions and to be creative and to be present in this moment.
Yeah, Mark, and you said, it only takes 10 minutes. I don't know how long we were doing that, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And I already felt so much more relaxed. I was a little bit stressed out trying to get this new microphone going. And then my phone rang, even though I thought I had it turned off. And I was still able to just sort of maintain a sense of calmness in just a couple minutes. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the whole point. Now, there are other forms of meditation that will take you to different states. Mm-hmm. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for people to have real world access to real time of things tools that will move you forward and allow you to expand your capacity to be present, to do what you're looking to do in the moment, without the constant force of got to get it done, got to get it done, got to get it done. That got to get it done attitude works against us. I know this firsthand because it's something I fight with all the time, and I do. Yeah, I believe me. I hear you, and I practice meditation, and I practice other forms of being present and working towards improving connection and authenticity in my connections, and in the process of doing the connecting, the process of connecting and finding myself better, the go-to tool every single time is mindfulness meditation for me. When I'm stressed, mindfulness. And that leads me to the third time that I ask my clients to do mindfulness, and that is right before they go to sleep. While they're in bed, practice 7 to 10 minutes of mindfulness, and it will knock you out, number one. Number two, it will clear your mind of all the stuff that went on in the day. And during the day, it's going to get crazy. Life is crazy. It happens. And there's a lot going on. We're not going to avoid that, but we can be better equipped to work within that scope, within the frame of life.
Yeah. I think it's interesting too, when we talk about meditation, this, especially what you're talking about here. And like you said, people have this one idea of what meditation is, and there's so many different variations. There really is something for everyone. And, I think that even just, as you're talking about, as you're driving, you can be doing this kind of mindfulness activity. When you're taking a shower, when you're eating your dinner, that's a really good way, in fact, to kind of just, if you're having some struggles with eating too much or the wrong stuff, just becoming really centered and mindful. The other thing I like about this too is, the interesting thing about breathing is it's one of those things that's part of the autonomics, the autonomic
nervous system. Yeah,
right.
Right.
And so we can control it. It's automatic, but it's also something we can control.
Right.
One of those systems in our body. And the great thing about the breath is, your psychology will follow your physiology and vice versa. So if you slow down your breathing, automatically your heart rate goes down. Things like that. So you can in a moment, and it's very tough to be stressed and angry when your heart rate's slower, when your breathing is slower.
Absolutely. And in fact, when I work with smokers in my practice, the one thing that they misconstrue is, you ask them, why do you smoke? It relaxes me. Well, tell me about the process. Well, right. I take in the first inhale, and so you mean you were breathing?
Right.
You took in a deep breath. The fact that you had a chemical stimulant that's harmful to you is secondary. In fact, it worked the other way. It stimulated you.
It's a stimulant. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And nicotine's a stimulant. I said, so you fooled yourself into believing that, but the reality is your body, the deep breathing is what slowed you down, calmed you down, brought you to grounding. So let's eliminate the chemical stimulus aspect, and let's focus, because what I'm hearing from these people is, I'm looking for a tool to relax. I've got the tool. You have the tools built into your body. It's a hardwired part of you. When we change your breathing, we change your state. When we change your state, we change your focus.
Yeah, it's funny too. I was a smoker for 20 years, and I had that same thought.
Me too.
Oh yeah, okay, high five.
Yeah.
But I had that thought too, that if I don't have cigarettes, how will I relax? And the truth is, that's just your go-to. That's just what you've chosen.
Right.
Because it's not a universal relaxation method, right? If I had a cigarette right now, it would not decrease any stress.
Right.
It would cause a lot of stress. Right.
Absolutely. And breathing is one of the exercises I teach. One of my favorites is to ask people to bite into a grape and mindfully eat a grape, or mindfully eat a piece of chocolate, stop and mindfully eat anything. Go through the process of feeling yourself taking that bite into whatever it is, and how your tongue responds to it, and how your mouth, and feel the pressure. And when you start to do that, especially when I'm working with my weight loss or weight management people, it's most of the time they're stress eating. They equate food with love, and that's a whole nother story I could spend hours on.
Right.
And the reality is that you're not tasting anything. You're not even aware of it. In fact, you're eating through your body's signal to stop eating, because you're eating so fast. But if you eat mindfully, one, it becomes more enjoyable. It becomes an experience. You taste the flavor, you smell the smells, you feel the textures, and that's what eating is about. It's not just fueling our bodies or filling a hole that we have for love that we're not getting somewhere else, or in stress, but it's about the experience of being present. And that's really, I think, Tim, when we look at everything that we do as humans, we're moving towards pleasure and away from pain, right? That's what the psychologists have told us for years. Yeah. And it's a lot more complicated than that, as you and I both know as hypnotists. Sure. It's the scripts that our subconscious mind run that no longer are serving us that once did. And it's rewriting those scripts as a hypnotist that makes what we do so much more powerful. And now layer on top of that meditation and mindfulness practice, being present. When you're present, you're not running scripts. What you're doing when you're running scripts is you're unconscious. But when you're conscious, when you're present, you can't run an unconscious script, because you start to ask the questions. What's going on? What am I feeling? I'm getting in touch with your body, getting in touch with your feeling, getting in touch with what's going on in this moment. That changes it. Now you move from becoming reactive to proactive. You're winding up to a fight. You have two options. You can slap back in, or you can step back, take a breath, make a decision. And then if you want to slap back in, that's your choice, but you're making a decision at that point, and you've moved it from being reactive, and it changes the body physiology, what we're doing, how we respond. And with all the stressors in our world, everything that's going on, wearing my I hate COVID-19 mask from my clients. I love this. This is my favorite. Or if it's just stress at home with having to homeschool the kids and being on top of your spouse, your significant other, there's just no space to get away. You can find that 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, and just breathe into it. And as you're breathing into that moment, your body is changing, and you have now become in control of your life instead of being controlled by your life. And I think that's huge.
That is such a great point, because, oftentimes people will say, when they say, well, I don't want to get hypnotized because I don't want to give up control. Well, here's the thing. You're not in control right now. I had a smoker. I remember what this one guy told me. He goes, I don't want to give my control to somebody else. I said, you're not in control. If you were in control, you wouldn't smoke. Right.
Exactly.
More control. And so with hypnosis, with the help of a hypnotist, you can, but also doing this, it sounds to me like just doing this mindfulness, becoming present in the moment, you can kind of take yourself off that autopilot and make better choices. Is that accurate?
That's dead on, Jim. You know, the work, my primary area of focus and the work that I do here in my office in Summit, New Jersey, is that I work with trauma, PTSD, sexual trauma, sexual abuse, and addiction. Those are the prime things that I work. I do all the other stuff, but 90% of the people that walk through my door are here because they're suffering significant traumas in their life. Mm-hmm. And that's a difficult script and a painful script because it's devastating. I mean, it causes them to use substances. It causes them to be self-harming. It causes them across the line to have issues that they're not in control of their life. Right. And as a trauma specialist, my goal is to help them do that, help them to get back in control, take back control, own their life. Because the longer they continue to run these scripts, the scripts continue to magnify and magnify and magnify. And that's the work that I do. And meditation, mindfulness meditation is critical in helping my clients move themselves forward. The work that I do as a trauma specialist, that's critical. I break down the trauma, and now let's give you tools so that you can move your life forward and see where we can go.
Yeah, and you mentioned something there too about the specialist thing, and I have just a bit of a rant, everybody. I remember I had a guy a few months ago, and a client was going through some really difficult times, a lot of anxiety attacks. All of a sudden, there was a traumatic event, so having terrible anxiety, and it was life threatening. He was contemplating, ending it. It was really tough.
Oh yeah.
And we had a consultation, and it was I can help you with this. We scheduled the session, and then we get on the session, and he says, well, I changed my mind because, my teacher, he was in college, my teacher said it's probably not going to work. And my parents said it's probably not going to work. And I just want to say, how dare you? I said, look, you said you've watched all my videos. You saw, who's the expert here, right? How much about hypnosis do your parents know? God bless them, right? And it's so frustrating. People are talking themselves out of this out of getting the treatment they need, and other people too who don't know anything about the topic.
Correct. And I'm fortunate because much of the work that I do is referrals from clinicians, social workers, psychologists who have worked with clients in their traumas for years and years and years, right, and have hit the wall.
Yeah.
They walk in the door, generally within 1 or 2 sessions, they're done. They're done. And I'm talking significant traumas. And so I'm grateful for having the training, the ability to do that, and having the practice that allows me to do this. And I could not make it complete without having mindfulness. And that's why I wrote a book. And the book I wrote was, I didn't write the book to make money on it. I wrote the book and put it out at $2.99 only as an ebook so that educators could bring it into the school, because I know what it costs what educators do to support their own classrooms. Right. But I wanted them to have a technique that they could use instead of beating their head against the wall. How do I bring this level of anxiety and stress that students are facing to make it manageable and give them a lifetime tool? How many of these students are going to go out and use calculus tomorrow morning? Or they're going to do organic chemistry. Very few are actually ever going to do that. But to learn mindfulness in the classroom and then bring it out and use that for the rest of your life, right? What better skill can you give a student?
Well, that's you and I both do comedy hypnosis shows. That's one of my favorite parts about that is we're introducing people at such a young age at the power of the mind. Mark, I know you're located in New Jersey.
Right.
Are you seeing clients in person, online? How are you doing it?
I'm seeing clients however they want to be seen. I see clients all over the world on Zoom.
Fantastic.
But I have clients that come into my office, and I've been, as a hypnotist, we're essential workers. We're dealing with the mental health world, and I have been in this office from day one.
Nice.
And my clients have a choice. They can come into my office and they can wear a mask, and we can both wear masks. They can wear shields. We can both wear shields.
Yeah.
Or I'm more than 6 feet away from you. And if you're more comfortable, then we can not wear anything, wherever your comfort level is. And, sanitize the office and disinfect. And I've got hand sanitizer. Whatever my client is comfortable at, whatever I need to do to help them move forward in their life is what I'm available to do. And that's what I do with my, I've seen my corporate clients. One of my corporate clients has got offices all over the country. I've been working with his team members since very early on Zoom. I mean, and this is the corporation that realizes that their biggest investment is in their team members, and they need to support their team members, especially now through this stress and anxiety period, in order to allow them to continue to function and to be part of the team. And you know what? When people understand that the company really cares about them, they really produce. And otherwise they wouldn't be paying me. Why would they continue to bring me back if they're not seeing results? If they're not seeing bottom line results from their team members, after the first 3, 4, 5, we're not seeing anything. You're gone. Why continue to invest in my fee to work with team member after team member after team member?
Yeah,
I'm fortunate in that regard.
So yeah, and here's the thing too. I get people all the time will ask me, well, how do I find a good hypnotist? And I got to tell you, if you're searching on Google or something, good luck. I don't even know how you choose one. Yeah. A lot of the certifications out there are kind of just BS and they don't mean anything. But if you're out there, if you're a corporate client, you want to help your employees. If you're out there and you just want to make a change in your life, you want to, we got the smoke out is coming up. If you want to make some kind of change in your life or just even become more mindful, look Marc up. I highly recommend him. You can tell just by talking to him, this guy cares. Okay, he's qualified. He cares. His website is hypnomarc.com. That's hypnomarc.com. Marc, you had a couple special offers for the listeners. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. The offers that I had is, I don't even remember which one I gave you. Jim, help me out here.
Well, anyway,
put them up for me, please. I do know that I am offering. There's free mindfulness meditation. You can download my mindfulness meditations, and there's a code that will be posted up, I hope. Yep. And if you want to do a Zoom session, and I'm going to put this out right now because I don't know that I put it out, but if you want to do a Zoom or a live session with me, mention this podcast, and I'll give you a 15% discount.
Nice.
Okay. So I can't do much more than that. Just mention the podcast today that you saw it, or you saw it on the replay, and give me a call, and I'll be happy to 15%. All you have to say is, I saw your podcast. So
15% off. All you got to do is say, I saw you on the Exploring Awesome podcast.
Absolutely. If they want to be awesome, I'm here to help them be awesome. Just
awesome.
Like you.
That's what the show's all about, being more awesome. You know what? So the offers that Marc has, they're posted in the description, and so you can find those. I know one of the offers was 50% off a program that he's got. You can also download the free recording, and then of course 15% off. Just mention the name, Exploring Awesome. Marc, it's been just awesome talking to you today.
Jim, it's been a pleasure, and look, I'm looking forward to getting back to normal stuff and seeing you again back at Hypnothoughts this year in Las Vegas. I'm already planning I've got my tickets, and I'm ready to get out there and get back together with all our tribe.
Nice. We'll have some drinks by the pool again.
Absolutely.
Hey,
have a great one.
My name is Jim Kellner. If you want to try hypnosis for free, I do have a free download. I'd love you to grab that. JimKellnerHypnotist.com/free-hypnosis. Hit me up, hit Marc up. Highly recommend this guy. He's a swell fella. Thanks a lot, Marc.
Thank you. Thanks, Gazella.
And hey, thanks everybody for watching. Take care. Be well. Be awesome.